news and rumors that appeal. Welcome to the Dusty Wheel.
Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel. Good night from the Dusty Wheel. Like we say around here, smash to black.
Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel. I'm your host, the Innkeeper, and this is your live call-in talk show all about the Wheel of Time. And it's What Wednesday, and even though we didn't have any new news today, we're back, and we are back talking about adaptation of Season 2. And this is something we're revisiting because it's been over 3 years when the original crew was on the show, and they started adapting the books and, went through the World, The Great Hunt, and The Ragnar Reborn, and I was like, we need to get them back and see how well did they do. I mean, there was a lot of changes, or enough changes in Season 1 that, they cut some slack, I think, based on that. But I think there are a lot of other things they changed that we can look at and talk about. So before we start, though, there's one clip, because this is not just Mary, Todd, and Natalia who were making their picks and changes. Innkeeper Hatch also made some comments. So let me start with that, and it'll be interesting what you guys think about this, because when I saw this, I was like, "Are we in a mirror world?"
Just to spite me, but would you drop Lanfear from the series? Do you have a good reason? I'm kind of curious. Thumbs up, keeper, thumbs down. Let's get rid of Lanfear. I mean, a case has been made, right, that maybe they won't have enough Forsaken. You don't have to. I mean, I can't believe I would even say these words, but you don't have to have Lanfear in the show in the end.
Matt.
All right, Todd and Mary, welcome to the show. It's great to see you. Tal is running a little late and will join us in a little bit. But could you believe your eyes? Or hear or fathom what Matt said? I can't even talk right now because I'm like, what was that real? What happened? What happened
on us is I had it muted and I couldn't hear it.
I think actually that he had it muted because I couldn't hear it either.
Oh, so I'm sorry.
No.
Okay. So this was okay. I need to replay this for you guys because this is important.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Yes, this is important, and especially the last part of it. So
Just to spite
Okay.
me, but would you drop Lanfear from the series? Do you have a good reason?
you guys hear it
I'm
now?
curious. Thumbs up, keeper.
No, there's the delay. I got to listen to it through the show.
Oh no, that's odd. You should be able to hear it. Anyways, okay. I can.
Well, let me guess. Was it Matt saying we got to cut Lanfear?
Yeah, he's like, we don't need to have Lanfear on the show. That's what he said.
That's his way of saying he's been kidnapped and he needs help.
The danger of doing hundreds of live shows. Hey, it's out there. It's out there for everyone to see. So
Yeah, there's also the, I'm sure he would say, I just, trying to spur conversation. I could say something that's wrong. And then, use that as a springboard. No, of course we can't get rid of Lanfear. Who would even suggest such an insane, crazy thing? You know,
Matt just did.
Right. So
apparently,
I thought this was a good place to start because I don't think we've not had Lanfear confirmation. But is there any way that you guys talked about Lanfear and a lot of different aspects of Lanfear in the Great Hunt? Is there any way Lanfear could not be in season 2?
I don't see it. I think there are pieces of Lanfear that we don't need to see, but
Okay.
no, I don't see how we can get away without having her there.
Yeah, Mary, what about you? Is there anything that you would want to cut from season 2 that is in the Great Hunt?
I'm trying to reconcile, how things went in the book to what we've seen so far in season 1, and the different tone, or the tone where it stands right now is a little bit more mature. It's a little older. So having Selene kind of bumble in and be sexy and oh gee darn, and Rand just fumbling over himself, I don't think that's going to work. That's not going to fly in the show. It won't make sense.
So you think they need to cut the seduction of Rand by Lanfear or whatever that was?
Either that, or they have to change it substantially, because the entire hook of the end of season 1 was Rand realizing the temptation of all of his hopes and dreams meant ignoring somebody he cared deeply about and what her wants were. So we do know that Rand is going to have to, his heart is going in a different direction, or 3. So it's going to have to change at some point in time, and to us book readers, it's going to seem jarring and sudden. But then again, I don't see Lanfear as a breakup rebound either. I think that would be a bad choice.
Yeah, so I just put up, the show will contain spoilers. We're going to talk about the Great Hunt, maybe elements of the Dragon Reborn. We won't go out of our way to talk about, further, in the books.
I'll
and
be
we'll
good.
preface it. Yeah, we should, but we'll preface it, because there are certain characters that we hope that are in season 2, and there are certain things they will do that we know why they do it, Verin. So that's why I think we need to. I just I'll keep that up there, so we have that. But this is funny. Do we need something like this? Selene and Rand shirt. Need it? I think the way they can modify that is we can clearly see compulsion, and Lanfear doing compulsion on Rand, and so we can see that, maybe, or not clearly, but we would know that this is what's happening. And we don't really know if that happened in the book. There's theories about that, but what do you guys think about that? Can we change it so there's actually compulsion being done, or would that be diminishing what Lanfear does? I guess
I'm trying to remember if you. I'm trying to remember exactly how compulsion works, but I really don't. I don't like the idea of it being compulsion. I think that she wants him not in that way, and I think, based on the way the TV show went, that Rand is going to be a lot more guarded now, where he wasn't so much in the books. So I kind of feel like it's going to be. I don't think compulsion would work. I don't think it would be a good thing. I don't think it's what Lanfear wants either.
So yeah, I think that is she would want to win him over by other means, I guess. But I don't know. I mean, that's true. But Lanfear would do anything to get what she wants too. So what about you, Mary? Do you think would compulsion be a good thing to add here?
At this point in time, no. I think it's too soon. And I know compulsion becomes a plot point later in the series, but I don't think it fits here. I guess it comes back to Lanfear's character. Are they going to keep in that she wants she wants Luther and she wants Rand, and I think you can keep that without it being too. It's a fine line to walk. My feminist heart is just going nuts over the whole thing. Is she going to go the damsel in distress route and play to Rand's sympathies? Is she going to, I think it can be done because we kind of saw them do that with Dana in the first. We got a very sympathetic character who was acted wonderfully and fit the scene, fit the mood, and while the seduction didn't work, the dark friend twist at the end felt natural and believable. So there is a way to do it with an intriguing character and a longer story arc. So I'm kind of at a loss of how to do it. So which means great, I get to be spoiled and surprised by the show.
Right.
So
in terms of what I found, I think both of you, or at least I don't think Mary, you were on that show, but I think Todd, you said maybe not like that much of Celine. And so if we don't get that Celine part and the damsel in distress and mirror world and all that aspect of it, how would you then introduce Lanfear to Rand? How could you make that believable if he's on the run and doing that?
Because you want to jump in, Mary?
No, you can finish your thought.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think that they can do it when they go to get with the Aiel, and I'm trying to remember what book it was in when he was it the Dragon Reborn when he meets up with Asmodean and I don't even remember her name. That was Lanfear.
Kylie.
That was Shadow. That was Shadow Rising.
Yeah,
Shadow Rising.
Okay. That's like the peddler group.
Right.
In the waste. Yeah.
So a little spoilery there.
Yeah. Well, they said spoiler, so I wasn't gonna. I mean, he's on the run. So is Matt. There's not good. I don't know how they could bring it in. Bring her in as far as that goes, unless she was crossing up with Fane some kind of way. That would be the only other way I could see that it could be done.
So I had a thought. Well, how do we meet Celine in the first place? It was through the portal stone.
Yep.
So if we keep the portal stones, then oh my God, we need the flicker. So,
Mary,
there's
Tal just joined us.
Yay!
Hello. Thank you.
I'm so excited to be here, and I'm so sorry I late.
No, you're right on time. We were talking about how I found this clip where Matt said we should cut Lanfear, so we're talking about that. Yep. So
That is glorious. That's why we love you.
So Mary, yes, please finish your thought.
Yeah. So if they do keep the portal stone and that traveling montage, we could have Rand encounter Celine there on her own, struggling to survive, and they team up to get out, and they can have the whole tension going on without it being damsel in distress, and without having to be Lanfear being all sultry and just overtly trying to seduce him. It could be done at a more level playing field, that they build that chemistry and they build that that whole thing that's going to happen, and then it's going to go sideways wonderfully when we figure out who she actually is, and you could really set her up to be the active big bad in the long-term villain in the whole series. Ooh, God, Matt, you're gonna make me like Lanfear.
And I just can't. If we're gonna bring compulsion into it, she could just roll in as Lanfear. That's kind of
which seems heavy-handed and
right.
Doesn't match your style.
Right.
Yeah. So okay. I mean, there are two things I think that you brought up that are interesting. From what I remember, portal stones and the mirror worlds were, for the large part, you guys said, cut, or we don't really need that. So you're kind of saying we should bring that back as a way of getting Lanfear back. So Tal, just to kind of get you, we're saying that we can't really have, because everyone's older and Rand's already been in a relationship. He's like in a breakup kind of situation. We can't really have a
place, yeah.
Yeah, so we can't really have Lanfear as like the damsel in distress, kind of seducing him, and how that would work. So we were like trying to figure out how. Well, I don't know. Mary made some really good points, and I agree.
Oh,
so
well, then absolutely, I can't argue with that.
Oh God, here we go again.
but I think but I think the fact that it's like, how else can we introduce Lanfear, or does it have to be like Celine or someone else in disguise?
Well, I mean, they gave us Min in a bar in like the Borderlands, right?
Mhm.
So there's no reason we can't get a version of Celine somewhere swooping in to take care of poor heartsick Rand.
Okay. I think that's a
Oh,
what?
what if we just, because he ran away, right? He
Mhm.
ran in the direction of the waste, did he not?
Well,
What if we meet Kylie?
so that's what.
Set us
So yeah. Again, let me put up spoilers again here. For the Shadow Rising. No, it's fine. It's fine. But I think that's kind of what Todd mentioned just a little while ago too. That is definitely a way they could go and add her like that, and that's definitely possible. But that's like the whole waste Aiel plot then. So
Oh, sure.
yeah. So yeah.
It brings them in a lot sooner.
Yeah.
And I just found it where I said,
What did you say?
Celine.
Cut Celine. Yep. It's in your side. Yep.
Yep.
I was gonna clip that out. I'm glad you have your notes. That's great. That's great. So if we cut Celine, she gets introduced somewhere else. And so this is I like this by Melindra, like Lanfear as a guide through Flicker. She isn't a damsel. She's just a guide, which is, yeah, I think the biggest thing is, are we getting portal stones, right? And if we are, that would be great. I think that would be awesome. I just don't know how they really love their waygates, so
There's
adding
that.
yeah.
It's a hell of a set piece. They got to make their money back.
And do we need waygates and portal stones
Exactly.
and skimming and traveling? No, we
No.
don't.
Right.
So,
But I mean, then again, a portal stone is a styrofoam chunk stuck in the ground, so we're not really.
They turned the Waygate into BizFX by the end, like or the Stargate. I mean, not the Waygate.
Yeah.
they could have them be in the ways as opposed to the portal stones. That would
Sure.
narratively and
It's
show
just-
fit.
It's just so easy from a storytelling perspective to cut that entire chunk out.
Okay, so I'm going to show this other clip now, and then I'm going to jump into what another way maybe we could have Lanfear show up and talk about another piece of kind of world building or things that we could have. So
I hope we can hear it this time.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm like. I'm a little bummed that you guys can't hear this, but let me try.
Cutting the scene. Tyler's kind of on the fence. Todd, what do you think about this? Do we need to? Is it a keep dream for you, or a move, or a cut?
I'm a cut. I'm a full on. I never have been a fan of the dreams, and I like the dream world, but I've never just been a fan of the way these dreams work at the beginning.
Okay. Yeah. So Tyler, you've been outvoted. We have cut this dream.
All right, I don't know. Did you know? No, that's let me try to give me 1 second. So basically, I'm gonna talk about that was you guys were talking about dreams, and Todd was like, I was never a fan of the dreams. I'm just gonna paraphrase here that I like the dream world, but I didn't like how the dreams kind of showed up in the first part of the books. And I think you were talking about one particular dream, but also then talking about generally dreaming. And so could she show up in the dream world to Rand and that's the first introduction, and she eventually then sees. So, kind of two questions there: are we going to see more dreams, and can she show up in the dream world to him, or just travel through the dream world somehow? Like kind of get that kind of he goes there in the flesh, and that kind of thing.
It depends on how they do it. I'm trying to figure out a good way to say this. Does he know that she's forsaken, or is it just she going to approach him as somebody in the dream world? Would be my question.
Well, I mean, you would imagine he'd be suspicious of anyone. So if they're clearly forsaken, then he wouldn't be. So it might be some other way of approaching in a guise, that kind of way. Maybe
right,
maybe as Egwen, or someone else that he might trust.
We never did meet Elsa, did we?
No, I think I think there was some mention of the Grinwell family, and it was Elsa, but I don't think it was actually her. So I think we could definitely.
It was Helga,
the little girl.
Little
Yeah.
Brigitte. It's
Yep.
still, it's my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't know, because I'm not a fan of those dreams anyways. I'm talking about the dreams in the beginning that all the boys are having.
Yeah.
I was not a fan of those dreams in the
The
first
fire
place.
eyes.
Right. Yeah. I didn't.
Well, we've seen dreams.
Cinematically, they could be much better than my imagination made them.
Well,
But
they
if-
had the dreams in the first season.
Right. But if Lanfear is going to roll in and scare the shit out of them again, then if Lanfear is going to roll in and scare them, then what's the point? She's going to have to go in and try something different to win him over, I guess, is
Right.
Yeah, I think there's room here for a combination of Celine and Elsa Grinwell, sort of damsel and ingenue little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, so a lot of people in the chat are saying that there is an Elsa casting done for season 2. Now, the interesting thing, I mean, yes, that could just be a novice in the White Tower. It could be a novice in the White Tower who's Lanfear. It could be
the dream world, but I've never just been a
Oh, yeah, it could be someone they meet along the way and is Elsa, and that would be a little odd, right? Like Rand meets the Grinwell family and then like is going the other way and meets. It's possible, he meets Elsa Greenwell. Although, is this what the casting is? Benachina put in Elsa Treehill, so it's not Grinwell in.
Ooh, interesting. That's Nicola's last name.
Exactly. Yeah. So maybe there's a yes, I remember that now. I think maybe there is a merge or so that's happening. But I think it's a plausible way of introducing. What do you guys think? Like Todd mentioned this. Does Lanfear need to be hidden to start out with? Or is it something she can be out in the open doing her thing? Mary? Or Tal, go ahead.
Don't like dead air, so I'm gonna speak.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot to be said. No, shush. I think there's a lot to be said for allowing for that beat to happen, for her to show up as one thing and have, the book fans be like, oh my God, and then have nobody, like, have it come into the story naturally and have her come in as a big bad in, episode 4. Like, wouldn't it be a great mid-season
like reveal kind of thing?
Yeah. Like cliffhanger, like bum bum bum.
Yeah, I personally think that having, like, if this is their perfect chance of the mystery for the season, right? Like, we knew who the Ragnar Reborn was, and they went for this mystery in the first season. If they want to go for that, a mystery like that, they can show Ishamael maybe releasing Forsaken, including Lanfear at the start, but we don't see who it is. And then throughout the season, we're like, who's Lanfear? and we see multiple people who could be Lanfear, and they eventually, reveal it like that. That I think
I
that
like
would be-
that. I like that idea better.
Yeah.
I think that would be a cool way to do it.
Yeah.
Um,
I think Matt ended the last poll, and I forgot to actually look at the results, but I think we all were like tied. I think that's what it was. I think everyone.
We
said
were all tied except for Todd.
I lost big time.
All right. So the poll going right now is: will you like Lanfear more or less in the show than in the books? And right now it's more. And I think it's a rigged poll is what this is. So I need the poll. I need the polls back, and I'm going to start polling people. What I want to poll them. Okay, so I'm gonna show this a different way, and I think you guys should be able to hear this. So this is, and I'm just gonna replay this for the benefit of you three because you didn't hear it, and I want you to hear this. So give me 1 second, and I'm gonna play this wonderful clip from 3 years ago. Guys, can you imagine that? 3 years ago. And let's see if you can hear this.
Just to spite me, but would you drop Lanfear from the series? Do you have a good reason? I'm kind of curious. Thumbs up, keeper, thumbs down. Let's get rid of Lanfear. I mean, a case has been made, right, that maybe they won't have enough Forsaken. You don't have to. I mean, I can't believe I would even say these words, but you don't have to have Lanfear in the show. In the end,
Matt.
I mean, just. I mean, this is funny. Where it's like, even Natalia, you're like Matt, and then Rebecca's face is like, wait, what's happening?
Blink twice if you've been abducted by aliens.
All right, every 20 minutes or so tonight. We'll just play that clip, and we'll end it too. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna poll that. I'm gonna poll people that actually. Do you want me to play this? Like,
Don't ask. We're just doing it.
yeah, we're doing it. Yeah, that's true. But it'd be nice to see everyone say yes. Yeah, it'd be nice for Matt to see that. I think.
Pull people to see if it hurts them as much as it hurts me to see those bangs, man. Like, oh.
Although, so I watched all these episodes of you guys. And you guys did 8 episodes of The Great Hunt. I mean, wow. That was just, So I couldn't get through all of them, but I saw your kitten, Tal, and I think I'm trying to remember the name now. Ruby.
Oh, her name is Ruby. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, there's there's really cute.
She gets progressively bigger.
Yes, exactly. That's so good. So I think enough of Lanfear. I think Lanfear is going to be in the show. I think we've kind of decided that no real kind of damsel in distress kind of Lanfear. Probably some other way of introducing on the way, and maybe a guide or something like that. Cool. Anything else on Lanfear that you guys had thoughts about? The ending scene with Min, like, do we need to see that, something like that? Where she walks in.
I think it really depends on the context of what they do with her as a character,
because
it's such a spiteful, like, it's just classic jealous girlfriend.
Yeah.
That at the time I was like, oh, on a reread, you're like, that's petty.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're
I mean,
small.
again, it's Matt would make an argument that was, there was reasons for that, but I think pretty much everyone else thinks that was a trait of jealousy. I mean, that's just what it seems like, Yes, she wanted Rand, but I don't know. Yeah. Before you go ahead.
Just real quick, can men see images around somebody who is in disguise? Do we know that?
Ooh, I mean, I have 3 like resident expert scholars on, like, so I mean, if anyone or chat, please, if anyone thinks
because I don't think they really run into each other.
Grendel.
Grendel?
When they
Okay.
not Grendel, when they have Mogedion,
Caller.
um,
That that
when
thing.
Grendel is disguised, when she's wearing
Grendel
her
or,
mask.
or
I
So
keep saying
so
Grendel, but I mean Mogedion. But when
late
Mogedion,
book spoilers.
Marigan.
Thor,
Marigan.
friend.
She's
A chosen had a piece of jewelry, and you think they
There
could?
was there was a character who was wearing a mask of mirrors who Min could identify visions of. I think that's how. Isn't that how she? It's a last book spoiler, but the answer is yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Before we go on to the next thing I have here, this is a live call-in talk show. So the number's on there. It's 313-TALK-WATCH, so 313-825-5968. Call in and let us know what, burning changes or, things from the Great Hunt that you want to talk about, or if you have strong feelings about things we are going to say or have said already. And, if you want to believe Matt wanting to cut, Lanfear, thoughts about that. So we kind of, do you guys think we'll see? So the other thing about dreams, I'm going to jump to Egwen and dreaming. How much of that do you think we'll see? So, that meeting with, Verin that happens, and, the fact that the Aiel are now being introduced earlier. Are we going to start seeing Egwen and dreaming? And if yes, how would we do that?
With dandelions.
Okay, so Tal, kind of explain what you're saying there.
Well, Todd has convinced me that our recent casting announcement was really a subterfuge for a Verin announcement.
Not this, but sure.
So I personally love the idea of Egwene hooking up with Verin in the tower and having that interaction. I think that the possibility of Verin's office gives me like Dumbledore's office vibes. Like it could be real good from a set.
They have so much fun with that set.
Right? Like Trolloc skulls,
Yeah.
little owl, like
Dandelions.
So I love the idea. And talk about a tie-in with a Lanfear. Like there is lots of room in that beautiful tower set to do some fun things. So I hope they keep the meeting. The dreaming plays such a big role. I don't know how they're gonna. That seems to me easier than Min's visions to put on TV, but I don't make TV.
Todd, what do you think about that? I mean, you said some stuff about the dreams, the earlier dreams, but in terms of the fact that we need, how does Egwene get to the Aiel? Like, do we need to start showing that now?
I think that, the dream walking, I like. It was, as Egwene and, she got into it with Nynaeve and why the hell am I blanking on her name? Anyways, they got into it, with the ring after Verin gave it to them, and I kind of think that's a major plot, more of a major plot than the dreams that the boys were having. And so I'm good with it, and I hope they can do it.
I think they are going to do the dream because, let's be honest, the scene that they showed in the teaser trailer of Rand strapped to the wheel, if that's happening like in real time, the real world, I don't see that. I see that as more of a dream sequence.
Okay.
Or a flicker sequence. I don't think that happens in the waking world.
That depends on how scumbaggy the Aiel are at first.
Okay. So you think there will be, Tal Runrioid, and because they've showed some of it, that it would be it would make sense to introduce Egwene to dreaming. Do we need the ring? That's the other thing. They say they could skip the ring for Egwene. The other girls need the ring if they write that much for dreamwalking. Do we need all of that, or can we just make Egwene have that talent and just start learning right away?
I think we have to bring Verin in. And that's an easy way to bring Verin in and start her on her path.
Okay. Mary, what do you think?
Do you think they make Verin a dreamer or a dreamwalker?
Mm.
Or just have her, reference the Aes Sedai from the past and lost talents?
Yeah, I think just have her reference it. But Verin always came off to me as very ditzy but powerful. Powerful in a overwhelming kind of way. So I kind of feel like bringing her in and letting her get into her role is going to be a good thing. Am I making
Yeah.
I think the big thing is how do we get Egwene to the wise ones, right? I think that's like a major plot for her to go learn dreaming from them. So I think
I don't think we need to. Not yet. Not in season 2.
Okay.
I think there's too much going on between what happens at the White Tower, what happens at Falma, to also include the Egwene with the Aiel. I think that's too much for 8 episodes.
Are we assuming that she does have an opportunity to that was distracting.
It's Talronroid, Talronroid. What are you talking about, Talronroid?
Do we know if the girls are going to go to the tower before Falma?
So we know there is this. We know there is a clip that the folks at New York Comic Con saw that showed Egwene and Elaine meeting for the first time in the novices, I think their room or something like that. So I think that would be before going to Falma.
Okay.
So that does happen. Yeah. So I think there is it's how much time do you spend in the tower? I think that's the big thing, and if they do spend a fair bit of time in the tower, if Verin is there, well, what's happening with Moraine? Where's Moraine going for help? Because there's all these theories about, well, we're not going to have Vandine and Adelius, and Moraine goes to Verin for, help with her shield or something like that. Yeah. So it's like, how can you include Verin? What is Verin more important for? Is she important as a character in the hunt, because that's where we see her show up? Is she more important for like the Moraine plotline, or to be in the tower for the Dreamer plotline, I guess? Todd, any thoughts?
Oh man, yeah, that's tough because she's important for all of it.
To me, she's a perfect candidate for the through line, right? Like, she is the perfect sort of rogue dice. Like the is she, isn't she, who
can you trust?
Who can you trust?
Right.
She's a bit sketchy.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. I mean, I think that would be whoever is playing Verin. If they manage to, so Mirasal needs to really be good in this role as Verin. That's, but yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I think. So if we kind of jump a little bit to the actual hunt for the horn, which, because Matt's never went to Fal Dara, so that's a big change that happens. He's going to be in the tower. We know that from another clip that we've all not seen, but was also at New York Comic Con, that Liandrin visits him in a cell in the tower. It seems like, so it's Perrin and the Shinarans who are likely going after Fane. And is Verin with them? And does Verin show up? And this is like the big, Verin. What is this? Gathering Storm spoilers, everyone. I'm gonna give that 10 seconds. But is Verin going to lie? I didn't give 10 seconds. I just spoke that. So I said that. So is Verin going to lie? Do we need to hear her, or potentially lie where she's like, "Oh, Moraine sent me," or something like that.
Oh, it's just the truth is not necessarily the truth you think you hear. I
Okay.
said I don't lie.
That's true. That's true. That's true. But do you think showing that aspect of Verin, where you start to, I just
Honestly,
Go ahead, Cal.
no. I want to hear the comment.
Where are the embarrassing clips of stuff Mary Todd? There was nothing. All I found was you, Matt. I'm sorry. They were awesome. So I'm not gonna have them on the show for the first time and like show embarrassing clips. So yeah,
That's for next time.
that's for next time. Exactly.
Um,
I did. I said that people talking about some spoiler stuff. I did say this is a later book spoiler. Anyways, I did preface that. Sorry.
So I do think that there is some value in having the who is she really and who does she represent and what bigger picture is she sort of striving towards. Just like with Leandrin, we don't know what she's about.
and
Right?
see, are the people spoilers? Are the people who are watching the show going to pick up on her lying? Because I'm going to just throw this out there
Exactly, Mary.
that I didn't pick up on it until probably I joined Theoryland. You know, I never realized that she did.
Well, did she? Like, I mean, I think we're
Right.
the only ones who are real sure.
Mary is still
Look,
shaking her head.
It's
so,
debatable.
Yeah.
It's
so,
really ambiguous.
even
It is not
within-
intuitively obvious.
yeah,
Right.
that is true. Okay. I think Verin's important. How they are do you guys want to? So these are the choices, and I'm going to poll this. How does Verin get introduced, or what is her? Let me end this poll here first. The choices are going to be: she helps Moraine with her shield. She's introduced in the White Tower and helps Egwen with dreaming, or she's part of the group of people that are hunting Fane, and there. We could add another that she somehow ends up with Moraine and Rand, and that's probably the same as maybe the first choice. Mary, why don't you choose first, and then kind of get everyone's
I'm
input on
kind of
that.
inclined to think she's in the tower, but I'm also trying to reconcile the clip from the teaser trailer that shows Siuan in all of her full regalia stepping out of a carriage, which from the books was in Fal Dara, but I don't think we're going to. I don't know if we're going to go back to Fal Dara or not. I don't know. It would make sense if suddenly they were all there. That does change things. If Siuan and her entourage go to Fal Dara, and find Moraine there, shielded, and the dragon gone, and season spoilers here.
I'm gonna jump in. A
Yeah.
lot of people are telling me just full book spoilers from now on. So let's just commit to that, because I think there are certain things that'll keep coming up. So let's just do
I'll
that.
still try to be good because
Yeah.
we're trying to stay focused on the Great Hunt.
Exactly.
But if we do have Siuan and regalia and entourage show up at Fal Dara, that's where Verin will be. And then I think she'll go back to the tower, because if they want to introduce, I think Verin's part of the dreaming is going to be more important to the story than Verin's participation in the Great Hunt, especially since the Hunt for the Horn, especially since the Hunt for the Horn is already down. It's just going to be Parent. Matt's not going to be there. It doesn't look like Rand is going to be there. Is Egwen going to be there? I mean, are they going to do away with that plot altogether?
I was going to say Fane may not even be there. We don't know.
Yeah, he already has. Well, he does have the horn. He had the horn in the story too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's. I'm trying to see how they're going to. I think the season's gonna end at Fall or Fallman. That's gonna be kind of either end, or that's gonna be one of the big hinge points of the season. Everything is going in that direction, which would make sense. That would fit the narrative, the book as well, where everything is just, it ends up there eventually. It's just what paths all the key players take to get there. It's windy here.
Yeah.
I kind of like the idea of just bringing her in the tower and not worrying about.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm leaning on it. God, it feels weird to agree with you, Todd.
Tal, do you want to? Okay, I'm gonna go first because I have a different opinion. I think Moraine goes to Verin for help. I just feel like that is, that's a good way to introduce someone like Verin. Who else will she go to? You can think Cat Swain. You could keep Adelius and Vandine. I just don't think they would.
Sheriam?
Sheriam's in the tower, right? So she's the mistress of
She's gonna
novices.
go to her friend who's really good at knots.
Well, but she can't. So the friend has to come to her, right? So maybe she goes to Carrion, and that's what happens. But okay, so I think that is a definitely another. So you thinking Tower 2 for Verin?
I want them all in the same place. I want that scene where Moraine is like, "Oh my God, please don't break my heart."
Okay.
When
Yeah.
she
And I
Mon are
don't.
plotting. Yeah, sorry, Todd.
That's okay. I didn't mean to cut you off. I thought you were done. I don't want Cad Swain to come in yet. I hope they hold her out like they did, like they should.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say we should cut Cat Swain for a second there.
Todd would never say that. That
No.
would be like Matt saying we should cut Lanfear.
Cad Swain is my favorite.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I think we'll see what the poll here says. It seems to be pretty close right now. We'll see.
Can you? Yeah, while you do that, can you also grab what Arosa said in chat about Swan?
So
That's brilliant.
yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. That picture, and you can talk about this, and I'll try to get that still of Swan from the teaser. But so how do you think this will work out, Mary?
Yeah, if that's in Kyrian and that's where Moiraine went, that gets over the whole oath that they had to swear that Moiraine won't return to Tar-Valon until she's called. They can see each other outside of Tar-Valon, and it could be a state visit, and arriving in a carriage, and but still could be a covert meeting. It could be. I'd love to see Foregate. I'd love to see the intrigue of Kyrian, especially with Moiraine, even shielded as she is. I think she would just rip everybody a new one with her subtlety and her skills at the Great Game. But where does that fit into the overall plot of the story? I don't know. It's bugging me. I got to think on it a little bit farther. I'm between that and Falma. I've got it's gonna be cool, whatever happens. But
well,
sure.
you pull the ultimate gamesman in Tom, and take him too, for reasons.
But I don't think from what we know, I don't think Alexander Willem is in season 2 or Tom is in season 2. So I think that rules that out for the most part.
I'm
from
wondering,
the reports.
I'm wondering if they combine, some of what happens in Kyrian with some of what happens in Fal Dara.
What do you mean? Like in terms of I mean, not Shanshan or White Cloak. What else?
Sorry, I mean in terms of the White Tower showing up. Maybe they show up in Kyrian.
Okay, so instead of the start of the Great Hunt, where it happens in Fal Dara, it just happens in. Yeah. Okay. I think. What if
you got it? I think you got it. What if it's in Kyrian and Moiraine is there and Swan is there, and that's where they chase Padan Fane, and they get the horn back at that point in time, because that happens, and then it ties together nicely.
Oh, I'm glad.
Sorry, I'm gonna say this. Dobran Lutra says the roof tiles look like Korean. I guess they do. It's
Looks like Dubrovnik to me.
yeah.
Like,
It does seem like not Fal Dara, even though we don't have too much to go off on. That it seems more likely to be, and it doesn't seem like it's Tarvalon. It's possible he has a palanquin that goes out into the city, and she's coming out in the city, but that would be a little bit odd. That this is probably a visit to another city, and we know we're gonna see it, Korean. Yeah. I have to put this up. Sorry, Tal. Joe's like, can we stop talking about how Tal pronounce Korean? No.
go to the back of the book. Is all I'm gonna say about that.
But I think we're gonna go there, and I think that is a perfect place for Swan to show up there, and wow, that's the first time I'm okay. Awesome. Kirien, nice.
I won't say how I said it the whole time I was reading the books.
I mean, it's
Dude, I said Carhane, so
Carhane. Yeah, I mean that's totally this is
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. But I think that would be a perfect place to have Swan show up, have her help Moraine, and I think that would be awesome. Any other thoughts about Swan and how she might show up? Yeah.
stepping gorgeously out of a intricate carriage surrounded by two footmen who are
please.
novices or accepted, or
Yes, please.
Yes. Yeah. All right. I think we have. I think a couple callers. I think have been waiting. Let me bring the first caller into the show and see what they have to say. All right. Welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Who's this?
Anas, this is Village Mattress.
Village Mattress. What do you think about all that we've talked about, and can you believe that Matt doesn't want Lanfear in season 2?
Matt wants her in season 2. That was just subterfuge on his part.
Okay.
And I think Swan getting out of the carriage, there'll be an encounter with Moraine. That's probably Kyrian.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we're going to probably see Verin in the tower. She might teach the girls a novice class or something. That might be their first encounter. And then Moraine becomes the one who takes Verin's place and helps the boys find the horn. So that's kind of my thought process.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is a definitely a way they can do that, and it works well with both the narrative for the plot for the show and also how things kind of happen in the books. I mean, they had to add something for Moraine because not much happens for Moraine in the second book. So
No.
I think So I
yeah,
think
and Rosamund's the star. Rosamund's the star, so she needs to take up some, a lot of the show. So.
Yeah, no, I agree. What about any other thoughts that you had from kind of what we said, or something else from a season 2 plotline that you want to add?
Well, I'd like to see if they can pull it off. When Moraine's helping the boys, they go to a setting and talk to a Ogier elder. I think that would be really cool. And then there'd be the waygate, of course, and then some type of flicker. So I think all that would be fun. So.
I like that because so now you're saying that one of the waygates we've seen, the kind of rainforest waygate, some people have called it, that's maybe in the steading. What do you guys think about that? Tal, you're thinking like deep in thought. Do you think we'll see a steading and them visiting a steading?
It feels like a waste to have Hamed and not dig into the Ogier, which means show us a steading. uh like that's just a waste.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking, so I was really deep in thought because at the beginning of the book, so we know we're in the tower because Matt's in the tower
Mm-hmm.
with any number of nasty folks or nice folks, we don't know. The girls are still in Fal Dara. Let's just say, for the sake of assumption, that Swan is in Fal Dara, like in the books, and that's what starts off the Great Hunt. And Perrin and the Shinarans do their thing, and Moiraine takes the Verin role, whereas she is part of the Great Hunt.
Okay. The only thing is, I think we've seen at least one, and that can still happen, and they can she can somehow break off and end up in, and the whole hunt can end up in Cairhien, and that's what happens because we've seen one clip where there's that kind of smoke and Rand's walking through, and Lan and Moiraine are likely behind him. But yeah, I think that would be that, because if you think about it, she's there, Rand's gone off, and she cares about obviously where Rand goes, but the fact that the horn was also stolen, she might want to join that group for now while still looking for Rand. I think that's definitely a way that can happen. What do you think about that, Village Mattress?
I have a question.
Yeah.
How do you get the Shan Chan to Cairhien if you think the horn's there?
Well, I don't think that's what we're suggesting. I think getting them that far inland would be a strange choice. I mean, there are ways that can get a ship into some of those canals and get a ship down there, but I don't think that's what they're going for.
No, I think there's the plot's going to proceed in multiple locations. It's just going to all come to a head on Tomon Head.
Yeah. Nice. All right. So, Village Mattress, you mentioned this. This is the what people call the way. So this is a steading waygate. Is that possible, or like a waygate outside of steading? Because that's.
I think it's possible.
Yeah. I think that is definitely I like that waygate. I think they are going to.
Can you put that back up again, just real quick?
I think this is waygate redemption. Can you guys see
That could
it?
be Tar-Valon. I mean,
Okay.
Tar-Valon was supposed to be like, it was almost tropical.
Right, but we did see them ride out of Tar-Valon to that out in the middle of
Dusty
nowhere.
plain. You're
yeah,
right.
yeah. So it'd be odd that there's another one around.
No, you're
yeah.
right.
Yeah. So this is either.
We could see multiple waygates this season.
That's-
That's maybe just one this week.
I mean, that is-
but maybe we see more than that one.
That's totally their wheelhouse, right? There are multiple waygates everywhere, so that's what ends up happening. Thank you so much for calling, Village Mattress. And I like that. I'm gonna poll our thought our chat here about that. So I'm gonna end this poll, and thank you for calling, and we'll see you back in chat.
Nice
See you
to
later.
see you.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Good to see
All right.
you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, cool. So let's see what people said. It's about 46% people, people saying Moiraine visits Verin for help. About 40% saying Verin's in the tower. So it's kind of close there, and not many people think Verin's going to be part of the hunt. Which I think,
Good idea in chat.
What did you see?
The waygate looks like Tyr.
That's tropical,
Which-
yeah. From that standpoint, in the coast, yeah. Oh, now we have to go back and see the flashback scene with Swan and what those maybe trees look like, and if they look like these trees. Yeah, I'm not doing that right now, but I really want
No.
to. So, no. This is the sort of thing, Matt, we'd be like, oh, let me pull that up. I'm not going to do that.
No, Matt would have somebody else pull it up for him.
That's okay. If someone wants to send me those specific screenshots, I'll show them. That's yep. All right, but let me actually pull. Is this waygate that I showed in a setting?
I mean, the fact is,
The
we are
Rainforest Wingate.
Yeah.
spoiled for geography on this show. Like,
The trees in or near a steading. Let's see what people say about this. All right, cool. There's something else that we spoke about. So I think a quick kind of yes, no. Are we gonna see Fal Dara? Todd,
No.
Tal.
yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
I'll come back to you, Mary.
No.
Okay. Okay. Before I ask Tal why she thinks yes, Dark Prophecy. How Blood Calls Blood. Where is that going to show? I mean, they could easily add it somewhere else. I mean, that's the biggest thing I think we're losing if we don't start in Fal Dara, which I don't think we should. But one of the coolest things that happens in those first like 8 chapters or something is the blood and gore that happens, and when Rand goes down into the. I mean, there's like so many cool things that happen there, and then you get yes, Swan shows up and all that. But I think that is the biggest thing we'll lose. So, losing Fal Dara, do we lose Dark Prophecy?
I think you can do that in Tarvalon,
Okay.
especially if they capture Padan Fane there.
Yeah.
We're also dealing with a very, very, very different Padan Fane.
True.
At that point.
Yeah, he's less Smeagol and
Yeah.
more
More Gollum.
himself.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tal, how would you fit in Fal Dara then?
I like at the beginning.
Right at the beginning, like the
Right at the beginning.
The hunt is leaving Fal
Yeah.
Dara. Okay.
That to me is the set piece of like off you go.
I like this steading Fiji. That's what. Hey, I'd be okay if they come.
Beth has a brilliant idea in chat wherein they find the Dark Prophecy with the Fade nailed to the door, and I love everything about that.
Oh,
like
wow.
it.
Tiny.
Okay,
That
so
could definitely work.
yeah, I had like a small note on that. We've seen that, we are going to get door draw. That is going to happen,
Mhm.
and because we have that, I'm going to show this clip because other things happen on the hunt because they go through these different villages, right? And there's all these weird stuff that's happening, and they find gory stuff and all these things, and what at the end they end up seeing the actual Fade. So I do see there are a couple callers waiting. I see you guys. I'll bring you in after I show this clip, but I want my guests, my panelists, to hear this, so I need to do this another way to make sure they hear this.
Is Matt gonna call in? He's doing a lot of chirping from the chat. Marcus said there was a
Chirping.
time jump. That would be strange to have Swan go to Fal Dara, assuming the time jump.
Yes.
That's fair.
true.
That is
Yes.
fair.
That's true.
You can have different timelines, so you can still show Perrin starting in Fal Dara. Personally, I think that would be a little weird, but yeah, it's
I think they already did that in
Yeah.
episode 8.
yeah. I think Fal Dara is done. So
That was a beautiful
Lanfear
set, though.
scene. Okay, all right. This is the one.
Yeah.
Let me show you guys this. Sorry, Tal. This is back to your.
Oh.
Your.
Do you think Min will be at the tower, or will Min be with the hunt for the horn?
So she left. So I think she's
Yeah, she
probably
left.
at Tarvalon or maybe even Falma for because we've seen some pictures.
She would go to
of her.
Falma on her own.
Yeah, some pictures. I mean, she wants to get far away, and she goes to
Mhm.
the other end of the continent, to the other tip of the continent from Fal Dara, and because the one picture we see of Kai Alexander as Min is like part of her head is shaved, so that's why I'm thinking she's in Falma. That could just be from, farther along in the season, but that was my thought.
It's definitely a warmer climate than Fal Dara.
Yes. Okay. All right. Let me play this for you guys.
We see the woman in white, if you will.
Is that what we're calling it? The Lanfear scene?
Yeah. Is that a bad scene? This flies moment, Rebecca. it stands out to me. Again, everyone watching, if you've watched this show before, you know how much I love the introduction of this character. But how important do you think this kind of stop and the flies and the blink, and how important is that to this, or is it just kind of a cut scene? We don't need it. We see the.
So the one scene where they see, again, that one house with the flies, and a lot of gory, haunted kind of feel to the hunt that happens, and then ends with the door brawl, with that. And even before that, we see the Trollocs and Padan Fane, and like how there's people flayed and things like that. Do we need to see all of that, or okay, I see Todd nodding. Why do we need to see all that?
Because I like Padan Fane, and I want to see it.
So you want him to be doing all those things?
Oh yeah.
Okay, you don't. Okay.
I because that's a deep part of his character, to that change that happens after Fal Dara, which we're going to get rid of, but he can do that from somewhere else. But that's a huge change in Fane at that point. And he's already kind of different. He's already really different in the show, but I think as an actor, he's more than capable of stepping it up and being more Fane than he already is.
Yeah, I mean, we know he has the dagger, right? And he got it somehow from Tar Valon, and we only saw him with it at the end of episode 8. So we can definitely see more death, the transformation already happened in season 2, and that's definitely possible, and, show all of those things. I personally think it'd be better if they, and you guys can chime in on this, like, they don't have to show it. If they just, or maybe a cold open. How about this? Okay, the cold open of just a hammer, like you hear a hammer pounding. There's blood everywhere. There's flies. There are people flayed. It's not focused, and then you see Fane just hammering the end of the cold open is Fane hammering the fade on
back.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
The fade on the door.
Yeah,
especially if that's like the end of the cold open and the beginning is the Dark Friend Social.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. I didn't really talk about the Dark Friend Social. I was keeping it for towards the end. I think we're getting towards the end of some of what we're going to talk about. There's so many things to talk about. There's no way we can talk about all these things.
Well, it took us 8 episodes to get through the whole book, and I think we're going to have to meet up again next time.
Yeah, but I think that's the perfect way to show it. Even if we just see the Shinarans and Perrin finding that, I think that'd be pretty dope moment. We don't have to actually see Fane do all of that. All right, let me bring in our next caller, who's been waiting for a little while, and see what they have to say.
Is Dordrell a hashtag yet? Because it ought to be.
Hey, welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Who's this?
Dusty Steve. I raise my glass to you, sir.
Norm!
Todd, I raise my glass to you 3, and of course to everyone in chat. What's up?
Norm, I feel like this. I'm pretty sure this is the first time you're calling in to the Tar Valon location of the Dusty Wheel. Thanks. What do you think about all our discussion tonight?
Well, I have been listening to all of you come up with your theories and such, and my one question is, one, are they going to have 2 actors for Lanfear? Because as we all know, that Celine is supposed to be some drop dead gorgeous, oh dear God, she's beautiful hottie. So like a a Kate Upton or a Brooklyn Decker type, for that. And then all of a sudden, face mist herself and changed into actually Lanfear saying, I'm the daughter of the night and I'm going to kick your ass, type thing. So I'm wondering about that. And then 2, as a couple of people said in the chat, that you stole my thunder, Andrew, that, you can't have a waygate in a steading because of the whole Moraine thing is using channeling to opening a waygate. Since they didn't establish the trefoil thing as of yet, except in that cut scene picture we saw. They can't really do that unless they retcon it. And then my third question is, I want to know how they're going to incorporate parts of book 3 into this, because we all know that book 3 starts off kind of boring with, Rand just wandering all over the place. So I'm wondering if they're going to put some of that wandering since he left the Wastes solo, if they're going to incorporate him walking and do the whole walking thing, and somehow end up in Kyrian, and that's how they end up meeting on the road with Moiraine and Lan and Matt somehow. And that's how they get together, because we know that there's going to be Trollocs in the outdoor town. I can't remember what the name is of the town anymore now. My brain's going blank. But we know
Sienna.
that scene is probably...
No,
Thank you.
he's talking.
So we know...
What?
Oh, yeah, don't get me wrong. I want everything, but I do realize that we cannot have everything, and I cannot be selfish. So I'm just wondering how they're going to incorporate how how Rand is going to be wandering someplace, so that when we do get to season 3, we can focus more on Tyr and that storyline, and then hopefully transition to a little bit of the Waste to set that up, the Aiel and stuff. So anyway, those are my thoughts. I'll now listen to you.
Yeah, so it's funny, Norm, the first question you asked, I was listening to these episodes 3 years ago. That's exactly what you called in with. 3 years ago, you're like, "Hey, is Lanfear? What do you guys think about Lanfear and one actress?" So, so Tal, let me go to you for that. What do you, or Todd, if you guys have any?
Yeah, Todd.
All I'm going to say is, how do we solve everything in the Wheel of Time? We make Verin choices.
Okay.
And so that's how you just Verin it out there.
Buzz.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say to Norm's third question of how the Dragon Reborn fits into season 2 of the show. I'm hoping that we get everybody encountering the Aiel who are searching for He Who Comes for the Dawn. That's how we meet Bane and Chia. That's how we meet Avienda. That's how we meet Gaul.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping we get those elements along the way. That we don't need to go to the Waste yet, but we can still have the Aiel. And it's the question then is it's pointing to Tyr or Kyrian, or is it pointing to Falma?
Yeah. I think, they can can combine some of that Rand running and then becoming or fulfilling a prophecy and becoming the Dragon Reborn at Falma. They don't necessarily have to do Tyr or have the sword. They can somehow, still make that happen, and have some of those elements. And then in season 3, go to the Waste and do all of the other things that you just mentioned. I agree with that. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, couldn't the Aiel go to Falma instead of Tyr? Like, there's no reason we couldn't get an advance posse a la Girls at the River post White Tower where they meet Avienda. There's no reason that couldn't happen
I think that's
Falma.
what's going to happen. I think that's probably what makes sense is everyone's going to Falma and the Aiel will end up there too. I think that is the definite thing. Norm, I'm not. What was your second thought there? What was the second question you had?
Oh, I don't know. I ramble a lot. I can't remember now anymore myself.
All right. But yeah, I don't know. I think choosing Celine and Lanfear, one actress, I don't know. To do that really well.
Tatiana Maslany?
Right. Yes. I mean, hey, yes, that's who you fan casted her as, I think, on BARSIDE chats, Tal. But it'd be interesting how they do that. I think it'd be better if they just use different actors for her, just because it'll be obvious. And I think if it's obvious, it won't be as as much of a reveal. And I think the reveal part of Lanfear at the end would be really cool if they end up doing that.
I guess, it depends on if Rand's a boob guy or a leg guy. Which way are we going?
Stop.
Norm, thank you so much for calling.
Hey, Dusty Steve, I want to leave you guys with one question before I go. Do you think, and this is for all four of you, and also chat because I want to see it, I'll see it when I hang up. Do you think they're going to keep the Tanchico storyline? Will they keep it, yes or no, and why? And with that, everybody, have a great week, and I'll see you guys online. Peace.
All right, bye.
Night.
Bye.
Will they be tanning in Tanchico?
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're a couple books away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to think on that.
I like that whole arc. How they actually do it would be interesting because what they actually end up doing with the Elaine and Nynaeve and the Black Aja hunt and Moghedien. There's so many things you can do, and if that's like a B plot line, because if season 3 the A plot line's the waste, if that's a B plot line, it's definitely possible they do that. Yeah, I mean, then there's Ebou Dar. Tanchico, and I like this. I was gonna. This is what I was thinking. Elfwitch says Tanchico and Ebou Dar may be merged. That's definitely yes, something. Let me
100%. Like there's those two storylines, absolutely. Even when you look at them from like sort of bird's eye, like there's a lot of repetition in terms of beats.
Yeah, no, for sure. I have one more caller waiting, but before I bring them in, there is one last.
Tanning and Ebou Dar just doesn't have the same.
No, it doesn't.
I have one more clip that I wanted to show, and let me actually bring them onto the show, and then I'll find it so everyone can hear it. So let's see here. All right, cool. Welcome to the Dusty Wheel. Who's this?
Hi, this is Megan Pryor, or Meg Moz.
Hi, Megan. Thank you for calling in. So, we will talk about Uno tonight, and we have been. So what have you thought of all our discussion, and what thoughts do you have?
So what I had kind of noticed, I saw someone mention it on Twitter actually, was that the scene with Siuan coming out of the carriage, she actually has less tattoos than she did last season. So there was a thought that maybe that was a flashback.
Oh,
interesting. Okay, a flashback. So maybe build on that. Why are we seeing a flashback of?
Yeah, to what?
Like to early.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe when she was first raised to Amerlin, yeah, or something like that. Yeah, I don't know.
Moiraine is having a dream.
Okay, all right. Mary, why is Moiraine having a dream?
Because she's trying to go someplace safe. She's shielded. She's in a vulnerable state, and so her thoughts go to a source of strength and stability and somebody she loves. So it could totally work.
That's again, that's digging into more dreams and how that works. I think that's definitely possible. I'll have to go back and look at that. I don't know if and maybe you can share that in Discord or on Twitter, Megan, where you saw someone mention that tattoo observation, and I feel like I've heard this before, but I haven't actually seen.
I think I saw it in chat.
Yeah, I think Megan probably put it in chat earlier, but
yeah, I think I said it.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
It'd be like I'd want to see if someone's actually done and looked at the evidence and put things together and showed that. If you could share that, that'd be great.
That's a great.
I also think like Rafe also mentioning like the tattoos too, maybe was like wanting us to like look at it a little deeper as well.
That's yeah.
Like when you did what Wednesday a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
It was releasing the tattoos, so I don't know.
Okay, cool. I like that. I'll put that in a poll in just a second. Let me just show this last clip I have. And again, a lot of these ended up being Tal. So let me show you this
That's
last
because
one.
we left.
Rebecca, is there anything that kind of stood out to you? Oh, sorry. Did you want to say something?
So
Tal?
high pitched.
Just, are we keeping Massima?
Yeah. Why would we not?
Because what does he add to the story? He's like a big red herring.
Rebecca, is there anything that kind of stood out to you?
So,
oh, sorry.
You wanted to cut Massima. We have Massima part of. He's been casted among the Shannars as that group. Any thoughts on that? Do you?
I want to cut him. I want to slice him. I want to flay him. I want to stab him. That may not be what you're talking about.
Right.
I
no.
mean, if they're gonna cast him, give him something to do. Like, please.
I don't know.
He's
Do we
not-
want to
he-
go down the
He's
the
not
route
gonna.
of
He's not gonna
Messiah?
meet Rand. He never met Rand unless they never showed it. So, I mean, this is what I'm seeing in chat. Again. This
Yeah,
is,
what do
this
you
is
mean, in
what
the
we
book?
like. Well, no, in the show, like
Oh,
they haven't showed it. So
right.
So that part of it, they don't. It's not gonna happen. Megan, do you have any thoughts about Massima? I mean, we know he's there. Do you want to see the prophet?
I mean, he's definitely got to be there. I mean, because once he's cast, but no, not really much beyond that.
Yeah.
I mean, I like his. I mean, his story plot is interesting, and it shows that evil doesn't necessarily have to be coming from the Dark One. It could be just straight up obsession, and that's valid. But I don't know how they're going to do that because they're not going to have Rand go along with the hunt for the horn. Or at least we assume that that's not going to be happening. So why is he going to get delusions of prophetness?
Don't the White Cloaks do that for us?
I don't
True.
think. See, I always thought he was kind of a play on the Shadow Logoth situation, pushing that back into the front, and so whether to get rid of him or not, I don't know. I'm thinking real hard about it, and I kind of feel like I don't know. I think as of right now, I'm saying keep him, but I guess I could be swayed.
Yeah. I actually
Keep the character, lose the storyline.
Yeah, I think so. I think there are many things they can do with a character that like they don't have to go through the whole thing that happens in the book. So yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, Chad agrees with you, Innkeeper, on that one. And
Yeah.
I can see that. And I'm wondering, maybe it's the next episode we're going to have to talk about Dane.
Yes, I
And
mean
the-
the
and
White
the
Cloaks
children.
and Dane and all that, right?
Yeah.
Megan, so thank you so much for calling. I want to look at that, but I'm also going to look into it myself too. Hopefully, find time to put those tattoos together. But yeah,
Yeah, I
thank
can
you.
try to find a couple screenshots and put them on Discord too. So,
Awesome. Thank you so much for calling. See you back in chat.
yeah, thank you for taking my call.
Of course.
See ya.
Awesome. So,
Bye.
See ya. Bye, guys.
So yeah,
Bye.
we're getting to the 90-minute mark here. I am going to start our giveaway mug for tonight.
You
Him
remember?
remembering all by himself.
I mean, hey, and I actually send the mug, I actually do that. So let me work on that while, if you guys have any kind of last thoughts about, Todd, maybe start with you about, this is funny. Matt's like working on a Swan comparison. So, okay, thank you. So Todd, any thoughts about, something we talked about or that you were like, hey, I really wanted to talk about this?
No, not really. I think we kind of hit all the places that I thought we were going to go. The only thing that I really, really hope is that they put more into Padan Fane in this season and let him kind of just go crazy. They showed a little bit of it in the first season, but I think they kind of cut him short. And so I'd like to see a lot more of it in the next few.
I want to see that coat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I want to see him dropping off the edge even farther. I mean, he already was, but I really want to see him get deep down in it.
Okay. Tal, what do you have anything specific that you wanted to talk about that we didn't mention?
I can't wait for our next chat because I'm going to think of something the second we hang up. I would really like to see where they go with Perrin and the wolves.
Okay.
And to see if that comes up in the Great Hunt, because it is beautifully dovetailed when he starts to use his sniffing capabilities.
Yep.
So I'm really excited to sort of see where they go with that.
Yeah, I think, the fact that we know Elias is on the show too now in season 2, and we didn't have him, so how that happens. Hopper, I think Rafe has alluded to Hopper being in the show, so yeah, all of that and how that actually ends up being in season 2, that's going to be awesome, because the wolf dream and all that, I think it'll be great.
Please let him do it well, because Hopper is awesome.
Listen, it can't. If we're using Twilight as our base line, it can only go up. Buffy, Buffy's better than Twilight. Twilight Buffy,
the theory I heard was that that it's Hopper is Elias's alter ego in the dream world.
Yeah, so that's where it's like, well, Elias will,
so that talking dog.
Elias will die, and then it'll be a wolf in the wolf dream as Elias's voice, so it won't be weird. Yeah, I forget where I heard this. I feel like it was
that Jordan Con, I think. I wish I knew who said it, because I want to get credit.
I feel like I remember it, I remember it so well now, but I just don't. Yeah, it was definitely a Jordan Con. Yes, I think that's a perfect way of doing it and not making it weird like that. You don't want to see a wolf talk. That. Yeah. Do you have any other thoughts, Mary? Before I end this raffle, I see people are entering.
Yeah, tons of thoughts. We're definitely gonna have to do another episode of this, Innkeeper, just so you know. So get it on the schedule. We'll make it happen, because we have a lot that we still need to touch on. But of what we talked about today, I'm hopeful that we will see Lanfear / Celine as an intriguing character, however she's introduced, whether it's I don't know if it's going to be the rebound or the fellow traveler or whatever. I hope that's done well. I really want to see the Dark Friend Social and the Flicker. I'm now sold on your cold opener of Padan Fane nailing the Murdral to the door. I love that concept, and yeah, and I want to talk more next time about the introduction of the IL, about what's happening at the White Tower. We didn't even touch on Elaine, on Nynaeve, on the Shan-Chan. So yes, more to come.
All right. With that, I'm going to end this raffle very in a second. But before that, I have to show this. I have to show this.
Just to spite me. But would you drop Lanfear from the series? Do you have a good reason? I'm kind of curious. Thumbs up, Keeper, thumbs down. Let's get rid of Lanfear. I mean, a case has been made, right, that maybe they won't have enough Forsaken. You don't have to. I mean, I can't believe I would even say these words, but you don't have to have Lanfear in the show in the end.
Matt.
That's so good. It's so good.
I'm getting a shirt that says that on the back.
All right. Let's see if this shows up in chat. If Andrew Dash, congratulations, Dasherman, you have won a Dusty Wheel mug. Reach out to me on Twitter, Discord. You know how to get in touch with me, and I'll get that mug over to you. That's awesome. And I feel like I know if someone has won before or not, so I don't have to be like, have you won before? I would know if they won before. So,
he's that good.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Fact.
I mean, you guys were awesome. I know we couldn't get through a lot, but I think with what we did get through, was hopefully fun. People called in with some awesome stuff. Yep, I see Dash in the chat. Yes, you won. Oh my God. Yep, awesome. But yeah, thank you so much for. Yes, you're right. We have to do this again and get to that end. And the things you mentioned, Mary, those are the things we need to talk about. All right, so I think that's everything. Yeah, awesome. Thank you everyone for watching. And as we say around here, good night from the Dusty Wheel. And smash the black.
Welcome to the Dusty Wheel.
Hey, welcome back to the Dusty Wheel. You went right to kill it. Look at you, you're all ready. You're just done. I mean, this is like this is
really well. And now I'm like, great, my turn.
And if you don't like that, and you want to say, well, Robert Jordan could have made the two rivers all white. He could have, but he didn't. So,
just complimented me on my dress, and as you can clearly see, I'm
sad.
I
see Nakomi as something along the lines of a Shadar Haran analog.
It does make sense why it outlasted the breaking.
Yeah.
See, this is why I have Therese in the show, because she's going to correct everything that.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Dusty Wheel Show. What? Meme Off Challenge. Yay!
Like baby face mounted on like a huge body. So like all of a sudden,
this is not just
like,
a traditional fantasy, right? There are sci-fi
and
elements.
Just a moment ago,
Rafe tweeted something. So let me get my guest in here with me, and
probably I would say put in 70-80% of the work. I got to be over the shoulder and be like, no,